everybody, Pai-Chan here, and today is day 5 of Inktober, and today I finally get into telling my little story, pretty much my little, Undertale story about what happens afterwards. So, you already know about the fact of Frisk going into the hospital, so it doesn't start out the happiest. But this picks up as she's in the hospital. I'm going to tell you how it starts. And during this, I know when I'm using the gel pen, I had grabbed the one that was not only too light but was hard for me to get the ink out. And I forgot to turn the camera back on, so at the end, I just kind of went like I was going over the colors. And this is with the yellow, and if you look down in the description at the link for the eye glowing thing, you'll see why I used yellow. Well, let's get on with the drawing, everyone. Okay, I'm sorry for the skip between the first and second clips, but my camera kind of decided to eat the footage and corrupt it. But on that picture, I spent about 50 minutes drawing it, so I'm not gonna have the video sped up as much as I normally do, if not at all. So sorry about that, everybody. Sorry about the mishap, guys, but as the pages turn, our story begins. As the monsters were staring out at the setting sun, Frisk turns to Sans quietly saying, "Hey Sans, can I talk to you?" Ending with a little cough, which causes Sans to be a little slightly concerned, but not very much so at this time. Sure, kid, what's up? They walk off over where no one else can hear them for a moment, and she asks, "Please, Sans, you know that I've done many resets, right?" "Yeah, what of it?" "Well, in all those resets, we've never met up again, so please, don't leave me again. I've gone through so much that you don't even know, which is the reason why I've been doing the resets." She does a small cough and continues, "But I don't think I can do another one. With me getting so sick when I went into Snowden, I know I'm gonna have to, if I do another reset, I'm gonna have to do that all over again." Like, don't worry, kid. I'll stay with you. Never found any of the people I was looking for anyway, so I guess I can stop looking. I can't think of anywhere else to look anyway. Frisk smiles and turns around to go back to the others to let Toriel know that yes, she would stay with her, and she would become the ambassador for the monsters when suddenly she collapses. Sans extremely scared says, Kid, you alright?" And Frisk sweetly says, "Sans, you're still there, right?" It's like, "Yeah, kid, I'm here. But we need to get you somewhere. You're sick. We need to get you to a hospital or something. I don't know what they're called here on the surface, but we need to get you there." And runs over to picks Frisk up and runs over to Toriel. Tori, we have a problem. Toriel turns around calmly, saying, "What is it, my... Oh no, my child! Oh no, Frisk!" When she sees Frisk in Sans arms, and turns to Sans like, "What happened?" After she finished talking to me, she just collapsed. I don't know what happened. Though she's been sick this whole time, ever since she got to Snowdon. I thought she was better, but I guess not. At this moment, Pai walks up, knowing that they would be there and wondering why they hadn't come down at least to the forest surrounding Mount Ebbet. When she gets there, her face turns white, seeing Frisk limp in Sans arms, and rushes over to them. Checks her forehead and a few other things, saying, and tell them, "We need to get her to a hospital now." And goes to take Frisk from Sans arms. Sans, of course, refusing. "No, I'm not gonna let you take her. We don't even know you." Pai kind of chuckles at this. "Yes, you do. You just don't remember. Whenever Frisk does her resets, some things are, let's say, no matter how immune to them you are, you still forget some things. Like me being the one who is to protect her. Now, come on, I know of a hospital nearby." Turns to them, is like, "Knew that was what they're called." At this point, Papyrus runs up, coming back up the mountain. Brother, where's the human Frisk? I wanted to let everyone know that we're friends with the humans now." "Pap, there's no time for that. We need to get Frisk somewhere so that she could get better." "Well, what's wrong with... Oh no, Frisk!" Upon finally noticing Frisk in Sans arms. "What happened to you?" "I don't know, Pat. She just collapsed. That's all I know." Pai turns to them and is like, "By all looks of it, it could either be the flu. In the best case, it could be a cold or flu. Hopefully, though, it's not pneumonia." And they come on, we need to get her to the hospital now. Everyone rushes down the hill. They rush down the hill, everyone noticing them as they were passing by, not questioning why they were running upon seeing Frisk in Sans arms, and Sans not letting anybody else have her because he felt responsible for not noticing earlier that she still was not feeling well. Upon reaching the hospital, the receptionist just was just kind of going about her day, not really worrying about what was going on. It's like, and goes, "The line's over there." Sans, being the way he is, bangs on, just, Sans being the way he is, yells, "We need your help now. It is urgent." The receptionist looks up and goes, "Now, listen here." Upon seeing a skeleton in front of her, she's like, she is extremely surprised, upon which time Pai comes up, is like, and says, Susan, we need to see the doctor now. The girl here in his arms is extremely sick. Susan, the receptionist, looks up, it's like, and glares at him. Pai, noticing her reaction, goes, it wasn't his fault. She's sick. He didn't do anything to her. If anything, and now, he's trying to save her. Upon a doctor hearing this and remembering the old tales, and also, and from his youth going up Mount Ebott without anybody knowing and not telling anybody, and remembering that he had once talked to a monster on the other side of a barrier, and realizing that they're not as evil as they all seem, walk up to the group. Let me see the child. I'll look out for her. Pai looks up, is like, and is, oh, hello. Oh, yes, doctor, please. She needs our help quickly. Upon a examination, they find that Pai's fears were founded and that she had pneumonia. That she did have pneumonia, and that she had had it for a little while now. He winds up looking over at the monsters and says, who is responsible for this girl? Toriel walks over and says, I'm responsible for her, at least for now anyway. We don't know where she came from or anything like that, and she saved all of us. So if she has nowhere else to go, we'll take her in. So for now, look to us for any care or anything like that she may need. Then he looks over at Pai, and asks, you gonna help her as well? Pai nods. Use my insurance. I don't think they'll be able to pay anything if take care of any of the bills or anything at the moment. The doctor nods and goes back to take her into a room and glances back to the others. Well, considering this girl's considering she looks rather young, a guardian is going to have to be in the room with me. Toriel nodded and looks at Asgore. I'll go. Don't worry. Don't worry. The children will be fine. You can look out for them, can't you, Asgore? Asgore nodded, looking back at Azrael and Chara, whom Frisk had also wound up being able to save, though they don't completely know how she knew how to save them. Considering that Sans is the only one that remembered the resets and what had happened during and after them. The doctor looked at Sans and went, are you coming too? Sans just kind of looked down and then back up at the doctor. Of course I'm coming. I'm not leaving her all alone. Well, she won't be alone, silly. She'll have me. Sans looks over at Toriel. Yes, I guess I wasn't thinking there, but I just don't want to leave her. Upon that, both of them nodded and take her back into a room for her to stay. And he explains that pneumonia to them, understanding that they may not know that ammonia could be deadly, especially considering they didn't catch it right in the beginning and she was already so frail. Toriel cupped her hand over her mouth and was beginning to cry. Sans was as stoic as ever, though his eye was flickering between yellow and white. His eye was flickering between yellow and white, knowing that he may not see the one that had just pretty much begged him to stay with him, that had just begged him to stay with her. And he went, "Is there anything you can do, Doc?" The doctor nodded and went, "She'll have to stay here for a time, at least until she wakes up and we can do a few more tests." Toriel nodded and went and said, "I'll go tell the others. But please, don't hold it against us. We had nothing to do with this." The doctor nodded and went, "I know. When I was younger, I had gone up Mount Ebbet myself. Even though they had said that people that went up there never came back. And I found a cave upon which I met one of your kind. It was he was kind, and he could always make me laugh. But upon my parents finding out, they forbid me from going up there again, so I couldn't." At hearing this, Sans' eye sockets widened, knowing exactly who he was, and asking, "Hey, what would you say if you met them again? What would you do?" The doctor smiled and went, "I would thank them because they're the ones that pushed me into getting into medicine in the first place." "Well, Doc, that was me. Well, Doc, I guess we have some stuff to talk about." The doctor smiled and went, "I kind of figured it was you. I thought your voice sounded familiar, but let's take care of her first." Everyone went to... They brought Frisk to a room to stay, and afterwards, Sans went and talked to the doctor a bit, while Toriel went out to tell everyone else what was going on with Frisk. To everyone's horror, it was a deadly disease, and they did not know whether she was going to pull through or not. So Pai explained that this was one of the best hospitals she could be at, and also explained that she would probably wake up in a few days. Sans came out from there and told them, "I'll stay here. You guys need to get stuff ready for when we truly start to incorporate to interact with the humans." They nodded, and Sans went back into the room. A few days passed, and he would switch off with Toriel, though never leaving the room. And a few days later, he's sitting there and says, "Come on, kid. You can get through this. I know you can. With tears in his eyes. Upon saying this, after saying this, he bends down and Skelly smooches Frisk's forehead, a tear falling to her cheek. She opens her eyes and weakly says, Sans? And Sans, again, Sans' eyes went wide. Frisk? Frisk, you're awake? Sans, what's going on? You've been asleep like this for days, kid, ever since up on the mountain. Is everyone okay? Yeah, everyone's fine. It's just... Kid, you had us all worried. Frisk... Frisk weakly sits up. No, kid. You need to lay down. You need to stay laying down. And leans over and gently pushes her to the bed. Frisk hugs him as he's doing this and says, Sans, thank you for staying with me. I'm so glad. As she falls asleep again, Sans knowing that she will get better. Well, that's all I'm going to say for now. You'll have to wait until tomorrow to hear more. Well, that's it. See, at the end of this, it kind of has a bit of a happy ending. Like I said, Frisk winds up being okay. And she pulls through alright. Though that doesn't mean it didn't make everybody extremely sad. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. And as always, my DeviantArt, Twitter, and Tumblr accounts will be down in the description, so go check it out. These are all going to be on my DeviantArt and Twitter accounts, even the ones that I don't post here. Though, if it's a bit mature content, I'm going to put the mature content thing on there because there might be some that, because I'm over at my grandma's house, I'm not going to film while I'm there, but I am still going to upload even if it's a day or so late. Well, as always, like, comment, and subscribe for more videos coming soon. And if you would, hit that little notification bell to send a notification to your phone, your tablet, whatever you have keyed into YouTube to send you notifications. And it'll also send you an email to the email that you have set as the one that YouTube sends stuff to. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. See ya!